there, my name is HW and thank you so much for watching Tone Junkie TV. I thought it would be cool to talk about stacking reverbs. We don't always talk about stacking reverbs. You might hear the term stacking used with drive pedals and maybe even stacking delays, but we don't always talk about stacking reverbs. But stacking reverbs makes a lot of sense because reverbs might be used during recording, but then later in mastering and mixing, 9 times out of 10, we might have some verb or some sort of a roomy sound applied to make everything sort of sound cohesive, like it's in the same place. And so I thought it would be really cool to talk about how we can stack reverbs with the Kemper. So let's get into that. You may have noticed that on some of the latest Tone Junkie releases, being the Divide LDW, as well as the M Abbey pack, you will have noticed that in the effects section, I've placed delay, verb, and I want to talk about why I did that. Now, out of the box, this is how they're going to sound. They're going to sound like you're going to get the back delay and the back reverb on, and it's just it's a hall reverb, excuse me, using the natural reverb algorithm and just an 1/8 note delay, and it sounds like this. I'm on the neck pickup of this Dorian James guitar, sort of an interesting guitar. Sounds like a big clean sound. Sounds like a pretty bright neck humbucker. It's sort of supposed to be, I think, filter-trony. Now let's try this. We've got an 1/8 delay, just a regular 1/8 note, not a dotted 1/8, and we've got a reverb on in the back. Now let's mute these two, and I want to show you the reverb. Now here's the sound I'm gonna treat those as my always on verb. Okay? But now I want to show you what just the verb that I want to put into that is. And it's the Cirrus reverb. And it's in these, it's got the mix at 70%. You can check out all the other settings. They're in this pack, and I'm pretty sure this profile was free, or they're on some of the free profiles. So even if you didn't buy those pack, you can check it out. Here is a large ambient verb. Now we've got that really long tail on it. Now I want to show you what happens when you take that verb and throw it into something else. We're going to get just a little wider, a little more atmospheric, and we're going to have that 1/8 note delay now is going to be actually taking this reverb trail and sort of magnifying it, and then we're going to round that whole thing out with that natural verb again. Okay, now sort of the longer we go with that delay, the more we're going to be able to extend that trail. And you really aren't noticing too much of the verb sort of in the back, but it is there. I mean, we can turn it up, you can turn it down, you can kind of do whatever you want. But the more I increase this delay, the sort of more we're going to get increase in the length of that big, huge verb that's now being carried over, right? The other one I'm going to turn on is this extra delay up front, and it's a dotted 1/8. Now, it also has the mix very high, so it sounds like this. Now that's sort of all of the effects together, and I sort of think of it like this. I always have my back delay and reverb on. That's almost like my dry sound in the mix. I never really want to be more dry than that, at least for the clean stuff, maybe for a distorted rhythm. I then add on these delay and some new delay and reverb in front, and there's a lot of really cool combinations you can get with this. If you check out my HW Nose tone profile, which is also free on the site and free in the Tone Junkie Free Pack, you'll notice I add on an octave delay, an octave verb in front of other verbs to sort of get an on and off octave sound. So you have your big ambient verb and then you can add on the octave. Check that out in that performance. But if you're wondering what you might play with so much verb and so much delay, well, you would play something like this. This is the type of thing I would play with it. Now that's clean, of course. I can also throw on some overdrive and sort of keep it chill and ambient. But the key to sort of the stacking verbs and playing with these huge verb things is sort of to play kind of sparsely and pick your chords carefully. Don't pick every big chord you know, just sort of arpeggiate ones and really just look for the 1-3-5 combination or grab the 7 if you're going for a 7th. It's really about small chord shapes. And 2 notes can sound really big. Here's a little bit of overdrive added to that really huge sound. HW, out.